Alright, welcome everyone back to our Hollow Knight All Skills Tournament 2021. Today we have Tsira and MrHug, and I am Collie, and I have my co-com here, April, Matt.
Good evening, everyone.
April's going to get the runners counted in, and we'll be on our way.
They should be off right now.
Alright, a little bit of background. Tsira has a 101.25 PB, and MrHug has a 102 flat that he got just a couple hours ago, I believe. So
Yeah.
pretty close PBs. It should be a really good race.
And also worth mentioning, both of the runners have been staying pretty close throughout the race. Throughout the tournament so far, with both always being somewhat around 2 minutes apart in each of the races, and MrHug mostly being ahead by a little bit, except in the third race where Tsira was ahead by about a minute. But right now Tsira is ahead in terms of PB by half a minute, so it should be pretty exciting given how close they've been so far.
Yeah, should be a really good race. I'm not sure how practiced either one of these runners is right now. I know Tsira has not been running a ton lately. I'm not sure about MrHug. Having just gotten a PB, he's done at least some running.
Yeah. Tsira getting the Vengefly Pogo, very clutch.
That looked like that was our sync.
And gets the setup softfall. MrHug as well.
Nice.
Should be fairly good King's Pass from both of them. 55 is very respectable. Looks like a 1 minute for MrHug.
1 minute flat. For a race, we'll take those. Absolutely take those.
Okay.
As we jump through Dirtmouth here, for anyone that's not familiar with the route, we do have to pick up all the skills, which is all of our spells, including spell upgrades, all of our movement, including Shade Cloak and Pismas, and all 3 of our nail arts. And then since it is a full run, we do have to kill the Hollow Knight at the end to finish the game. So it's a little bit over an hour for most runs.
Yeah. Or a little bit under 50 minutes if you're good.
Yeah, world record is, I believe, 49:38.
Yeah, as of like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Though it's reasonable to expect about an hour from each of these runners, given their PBs and race times so far. Tsira here missing the double spike kill, sadly. MrHug getting it on one of the 2 Aspid Hunters.
And that puts MrHug in the lead by about a second.
Although Tsira has quite a significant geo lead here with 10 geo more than MrHug, which may come into play later, since the early game is the most geo management heavy part of the run.
Yeah, 6 is definitely lower than you want to be right here. It's not something you can't come back from by any means, but it's definitely not ideal.
Yeah, given that we have to buy Shaman Stone in the beginning, which usually we'll have more than enough money for, but then as we move on from there, we'll be buying our first really expensive skill, which is Dash Slash, in order to do some cool lever skips and sequence break through some major parts of the game, in City of Tears especially. And for that we need 800 geo, which is a lot, so the more geo you have in the beginning, the comfier it will be during that segment.
Yeah, and immediately after that, we're going to start farming up 300 geo for King Station. So anything you have over 800 will put you in a nice comfy lead on getting that 300 geo.
Yeah, exactly. Tsira going down to 1 HP at the beginning of the False Knight fight, very risky. Although it's worth pointing out that at the very least she should be comfortable fighting False Knight in at 1 HP, given that she's also been running in the Hollow Knight relay race during the anniversary marathon, and has showcased Fury stress against False Knight there, so
Yeah, unfortunately she makes it through safely.
yeah, definitely. Definitely good thing. Also good that she got to heal up fully. You can usually get that after the False Knight fight because you have enough time to heal up and you'll be back at full soul vessel after hitting him through his first phase.
Both runners picking up their first spell here. VS is going to be used extensively throughout this route, but the first thing we use it for is to get through the boulder that's at the end of this little challenge section. This part is required. The game will force you into this section. It'll take 4 fireballs to kill that boulder. The boulder that we come up to later will only take 1 fireball because of a small glitch we take advantage of.
Yeah. And worth noting, as Rixian has been keeping track of all the race times so far. Shoutouts to Rixian. That's a huge commitment.
Yeah,
and we're all
absolutely.
very glad to have this. The runs seem to be only about 3 seconds apart, which is fairly good at this point. So, still looking like it's gonna be close.
Yeah, and they've been trading the lead back and forth throughout this early section.
Yeah. Though it's bound to change now, given that MrHug1 got first split order and Tsira got third split, so that should at least I think that could actually put them yeah, that might put MrHug1 a little bit ahead. No, but
Yeah, with Tsira opting to take that bench, MrHug1 is definitely in the lead now. You lose
yeah.
about a second for every orange spit that the boulder gives you. So just enough time to even him out, basically. We're going to look for the runners to gather 6 hits of soul on the way through this Grezzer room. That's so that we have that 1 fireball to kill that boulder with, and then another fireball to do a small fireball skip. Hopefully our restream will catch up here.
Yeah, Tsira just got bullied by the tick-ticks there a little bit.
Ooh, already
Falling
taking 2
down.
damage.
It's definitely something that yeah, will further the lead that MrHug1 has here. Although it's definitely not something you can't come back from, especially this early into the run.
Yeah.
Given that Green Path is a very execution heavy split and a lot comes down to small movement optimizations as well as getting some of the more optimal strats like fireball skips, which both runners missed here, the first one, and also things like the Moss Knight quick kill, which is going to be coming up somewhat shortly.
Yeah, Tsira didn't even go for that first fireball skip, which puts her a little bit in the lead soul-wise, so she won't have to work quite as hard to gather soul here.
Yeah, could also be that she just missed jumping off the ledge, since
Yeah.
you have to jump quite late there. And
It's a pretty
very easy
tight
to
jump.
dismiss.
And this game does
MrHug1
like to drop inputs.
goes for the first fireball skip and uses all 3 hits of soul that he had there. And manages to do it. Tsira going in with a little bit less soul, but
Nice.
does it very cleanly with 2 fireballs.
MrHug1 unfortunately misses that third fireball skip, opts to go around. We'll see if the husks are lined up. Oh. Nice, he gets the man pogo.
Yeah, Tsira misses it twice and also chooses to go around now. And shows off getting the man pogo just
Also
as well.
getting the man pogo. Nice. There's a little bit of an RNG aspect to the man pogo in this patch because they're not always on that left side there. They can spawn on the right side. So fortunately both runners had the good RNG for there.
You can see Tsira getting just another hit of soul, so she's at 8 hits now. You want 8 going into this fight so that you can hit the Moss Knight once and then have enough to fireball him 3 times in case you don't get the quick kill where you double hit him on the second fireball. as he jumps back, which neither runner got here, so...
You have to spend a little bit of extra time gathering soul in this room. I was afraid Tsira was going to forget to get soul, but she turned around and got it.
Yeah, you also want to have 8 hits of soul going into the next room for very similar reason, because you'll also be up against these Moss Knights here. Which, by the way, are very RNG dependent where they spawn. And it looks like Tsira didn't get a very good spawn here on either of the Knights.
Yeah, both runners got bad. Oh, Tsira!
Took one of the worst deaths in the game,
That's
in the run,
a
I mean.
really bad death in this run,
Yeah.
yeah.
The green path death means you have like 2 or 3 minutes of running back, and that's just really bad this early into the run.
Yeah,
Will cost you a lot of time.
We don't have any movement yet. We don't get our dash until after Hornet. So without having dash, it's just such a long split to walk through.
That definitely hurts. Luckily, she doesn't have to fight the first Moth Rat anymore, and also doesn't have to worry about Geo Collection at all, because once she gets her Shade back, she'll be back at it. And if she collects any spare Geo on the way there, then that's only good for her, because it means that she'll have a big buffer for later on, so...
No, MrHug just picked up his Mothman Cloak, which gives us our dash ability, and now he's going to head on to the Claw Split. Mantis Claw is what gives us our ability to grab onto walls. So this is a required skill for completing the game, as all Dreamers are claw-locked in vanilla game. There are some skips you can get to if you're playing rando or something. You can play around with it, but intended to be claw-locked for all 3 Dreamers.
I think they are even claw-locked in rando, unless you're doing room rando.
Yeah, I think the only one that's not hard claw-locked is Hera. There's some funky little skips you can get up there with in rando.
Oh wow, I didn't know you could. So as Tsira's making her way back through Green Path, MrHug is going through this very movement-heavy room in Fungal Waste. And is about to get to the first really cool skip, which is the Explosion Pogo, where you lure one of the spores so that you can pogo off of it with your nail, and then just as it explodes, you pogo off of the explosion, which is, as far as I know, only possible on this patch. They changed it in current patch so that you can't pogo the explosion itself, so there's different setups for that now, but luckily it's quite a bit more lenient on this patch.
There's a little bit extra geo collection we do in this route, getting these fungal rocks, because again, we do have that really tight geo routing early in the route.
Speaking of which, what do you think is MrHug good on geo here? How much would you like to have at this point?
He should be pretty good on geo here. I don't have a set number that I want to see here, but we want to see 420 by the time we get to Shaman. So it looks like he's well on his way. Tsira making it safely through Moss Knights this time. A little lower on Geo than I expected. You want a little over 300 Geo going into Hornet, and she's right at 301, if I can see those numbers right.
Yeah, looks like it.
So didn't pick up as much extra Geo as I expected her to on the way back.
Yeah. And opted to heal there, which is very understandable. You don't want to be going into Hornet with 2 HP, especially not on the second run. So,
yeah, you want to play this run back as safely as possible, because you don't want to lose another several minutes here.
yeah, that's what I expect she will do here as well. And MrHug is now making his way to Shaman Stone and Salubra. Ooh, Tsira in the meantime.
Okay,
Okay,
we're
that
safe.
was a bit scary.
I was a little scared.
Yeah, I was about to say back at 1 HP, but then
Tsira's safely picking up her Mothwing Cloak and heading to the Claw Split herself. And MrHug stream is fine, so these freezes are just with the restream. So there we go. Catch back up.
Yeah.
Weekends are kind of busy for speed gaming, so there's sometimes some congestion.
MrHug now about to fight the hardest boss in the game. By some not even considered a real boss. Grassmom has 95 HP. And so you have to do a very set damage rotation of 3 hits followed by a fireball each, and then 6 more hits. That will allow you to have enough soul to do this cleanup here. With 2 fireballs. MrHug getting the cleanup fairly well, just 2 Grozzers escaping towards the ceiling, which is always a bit annoying, but...
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, definitely.
As close to the ceiling as Gruzmother died, I thought he might have some ceiling Geo, but all 50 Geo were on the ground, so he was good. Sitting pretty comfortably at Geo-wise right now. Now you're going to see him set up for a Shade skip, so we're going to take an intentional death here. And then we're going to use our Shade to pogo off of and get over to Blue Lake early. This will be our early city access, specifically right side city. Typically your vanilla access would be to go kill False Knight, get City Crest, and go in through the City Crest route. But here we... Ooh. Okay, that's better than killing his Shade.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually surprised that he even tried going for that last pogo there.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, Shade was still pretty far away.
Definitely, but...
So, he still has a comfortable lead.
Yeah, it's still pretty easy to mess up at that point, especially if you have to go and try it second time without resetting the Shade first, that is.
Yeah.
So.
There we go. Pretty clean Shade skip that time.
Yeah, definitely. And Tsira almost getting the Mentos Pogo. So now trying to set up less, and seems to get it very nice.
There we go. Yeah,
doesn't
that's
waste
a nice,
any time.
that's a nice recovery.
And now also got the movement. Really nice.
Claw for Tsira.
Also nice to see that they both seem to be at a very similar timer right now.
Yeah, we're synced up nicely. So about 3 minutes between the runners. So MrHug, despite failing that Shade skip, he still has a comfortable lead. We are still very early in the run and anything can happen. So we may or may not see some lead changes here as we get into some of the more difficult splits. There are some really dangerous sections of this run where deaths are pretty common.
Yeah. City of Tears in general is not the easiest part of this run.
Yes, especially once we get to Sanctum, things can get really dangerous really quickly.
It's both movement and execution heavy at the same time. So you have bosses and movement coming up later. And there are a lot of small parts where you can gain time by going risky, but also lose a lot of time if you don't make it. So definitely an exciting part of the run, and
oh, for sure.
Nice opportunity for Tsira to make back some time if she goes for all the more difficult things, but of course, as I said, very risky. So
MrHug is killing Gorgeous Husk here. Gorgeous Husk gives us 420 geo. So this will be the last of our geo collection before getting dash slash. So what we want to see here, we want to see a minimum of 704 geo. Anything more than that makes the split a little comfier. Anything less than that, you're going to be struggling. You have to kill some extra things on the way.
Yeah, and there's not
Based
that many
on
things.
yeah, there's not a lot of options to kill extra things.
So what you want here is usually you have 6 hoppers that you'll kill on the way, each of which drops 16, so that's a total of, I believe, 96 geo that you're getting there. That's why this minimum of 704, adding up to a total of 800 geo. And the alternative would be killing something like primal aspects, which everyone knows are a pain in the neck. So
yeah, if you're really low, you're going to end up having to kill like a great hopper or something, which is going to take a pretty decent amount of time.
yeah, killing great hopper is the last thing you want to be doing when
Yeah,
you only have vengeful spirit and shaman stone.
yeah, it's slow and it can be kind of dangerous too.
Exactly.
Ooh, I don't know about
MrHug1
upslashing
hit
that
that primal
aspid.
aspect there. That's usually not the best idea because if you hit them, they will start firing a lot more quickly and.
Yeah, they'll basically instantly attack when you hit him.
Yeah.
He does have 802 geo, so he's safe here as long as he does not get hit by a great hopper.
Yeah. You could tell he originally seemed to want to collect more geo, but then opted not to, as the primal aspects were getting a little bit too close for comfort there.
This is not the best place for us to have a stream freeze, but hopefully he's making it through safely.
Yeah. We'll probably next see him getting up from the bench, and we won't know immediately if it's because he got.
Oh no. Oh, he did take a death there somewhere.
Yeah, looks like it.
Alright, so it's going to give Tsira a little bit of time to catch up. This is not the worst place to die. This doesn't lose a ton of time, but
Yeah.
definitely probably maybe a minute of time loss or so.
Definitely not nice to happen right at the end there.
No,
Although it
not
does
at
mean
all.
that he only has to collect his shade, which he can do with a single fireball.
Yeah.
And doesn't really have to worry about collecting any more geo. He can, of course, for comfort, but it's probably not something I'd advise here, especially given that it's unlikely, but it can happen that you die there a second time.
Oh yeah.
It actually happened to me. I'm not sure if it even happened in a run or just in a practice, but dying there a second time and losing your shade with 800 geo is... yeah, that does really
Yeah,
hurt.
that would hurt a lot.
This time makes it through without any hiccups, doesn't take any damage, so really nice. And gets the dash slash, so now it's Tsira's turn to kill the rich.
The reason we get dash slash so early in this route is because we use it as a lockpick. So this patch has lever skips in it, which means we can hit levers through walls, and then with these nail arts, we can hit them through some doors. And with dash slash especially, there's some levers that you can reach that you can't reach with other nail arts. And you will see coming up here, we'll see a regular lever skip that doesn't require nail art, and then to get Shade Soul, we do actually need specifically dash slash to get that lever.
Otherwise, for Shade Soul, we have to take a huge detour to get Elegant Key from Sly, which means freeing Sly and also getting the Shopkeeper's Key and getting the 800 geo of Elegant Key, which is just, yeah, that's not what you want to do unless you're playing on current patch, in which case you have to do it.
Right. Yeah, sadly lever skips are not in current patch. Can you get this back up? Okay, nice. Saves it with a backup. So here is our first lever skip. Hitting that through the wall.
Actually, the only lever skip we do that doesn't require a nail art, so...
Yeah.
But has also been patched out in current patch, sadly. And Tsira also going for the upslash on the primal aspect there. Somewhat surprising, but...
Here we go. She is safe on Geo. Didn't take any hits though.
Yeah, really nice. This is her chance to at least get some of the time back that she lost in Green Path.
Yeah. MrHug looking really healthy, nearly full soul going into Sanctum. Sanctum can beat up runners pretty badly, so going in full health is really what you want to see here.
Definitely. Exit from that Soul Twister, but nothing too major. And he can even heal on the elevator if he so chooses, so...
Yeah. I would say if I was MrHug, I probably would opt for one heal on the way down.
Yeah. Actually, on the way up, probably, since...
he got on the way up.
He's also going to be getting this soldier here, which will give him some extra soul, so... He doesn't want to waste any of that.
Yeah, that's true. And that is Shade Soul for MrHug. Shade Soul is a lot more powerful than our base VS. This does, with Shaman Stone, it does 40 damage, and if you can hit doubles, that'll double your damage to 80. In some situations, you can even hit triples, which will put your damage up to 120, which is just as good as a Shriek. So a very powerful spell that we're definitely not supposed to have this early, but it makes Sanctum much easier. And it makes a lot of our boss fights later on easier too.
For sure. It's probably what we'll be using for a good chunk of the run until we get to Watcher Nights, where we'll be using Descending Dark. And then also, it's up to the runners whether they prefer Descending Dark or Shade Soul for Lost Kin. I mean, Broken Vessel, but both are very good options there.
MrHug really getting bullied in here in a very dangerous spot.
And just as he's about to reach
freeze.
1 HP, the stream freezes again, of course.
Oh,
Always
man.
with cliffhangers.
Keeping us in suspense. Tsira did take a safety bench. She was on, I believe, 4 health. Grab that safety bench. Oh, he's still alive. He's still resetting the room. Yeah,
looks
resetting
like
the room. Probably gonna heal.
Soul very slowly here. So,
good choice.
Definitely good choice, and also definitely really good for Tsira, because she is playing really well so far after that death she took, so she's consistently been catching up since then. So
yeah, even without a death here, MrHug is absolutely losing time in this split. So if Tsira can get through this split cleanly, she will gain some more time back.
Yeah. If MrHug plays well now, doesn't have any more hiccups, then it's probably not enough to put Tsira in the lead.
No.
But if anything major happens, then this might turn the tides for Tsira.
Yeah. Tsira struggled a little with this Soul Twister. Fireball got eaten by the wall and then had to manually kill him with Nail.
MrHug having a fairly clean Soul Master fight so far, getting in some good doubles.
There we go. He did get some dives. The dives are not what we're going to see in this fight. They lose a bunch of time because it's pretty impossible to get doubles when he's diving. But not a bad fight given the pattern he was given.
Yeah. And Tsira going out of collecting Shade Soul with less soul and HP than MrHug did, which does put her at a bit of a disadvantage, but
yeah.
if she gets a good Soul Master room in the next room.
A little trouble with the nail art there. She won't have the soul to do the quick kill on this Soul Warrior.
Yeah, sadly.
The quick kill is 2 nail hits, 2 Shade Soul doubles, and then 2 more nail hits. But quick fight nonetheless.
Yeah, and MrHug finishing up Soul Master here at a very comfy amount of HP as well, so
Yeah, given that he was down to 1 HP not that long ago, he recovered very well.
Yeah. And also given that Sanctum escape isn't exactly a free part of the run, it's also good to be on 4 HP here.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only can he take damage to elevator spikes and mistakes, leaving Sanctum, there is an enemy that does hit for double damage. And if you're on 2 HP and he swings at you, that is a death and you're sent back to Soul Master. That is a hard save.
MrHug just remembering to hit the lever there as he's falling down. Otherwise he would have had to climb back up first. Tsira down to 1 HP in the Soulmaster fight. I'm glad now that she got the bench. In any case, even if she does well here, that's definitely something that will put her mind at ease, I'm sure.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. I think he's probably really close to dead. She may be farming up soul to heal. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
that
she was
was
just
so
trying to
close.
get a heal in, but that was really scary to look at.
Yeah, that little soul ball was so close to her.
But yeah, really nice. Back to 3 HP and got through the first phase.
Should be pretty safe on 3 HP for the rest of this fight. MrHug farming some more Geo on the way out of Sanctum. Again, we want 300 to get to King Station. He was at 264 coming into Spire.
Yeah, you want
so
to
he
be
did
at
shade soul everyone.
270 going down from Spire is a good amount, so that you can collect at most 30 on your way down.
Yeah.
When breaking this glass ceiling here, as we're about to see. So 287 is a very comfortable amount and doesn't have to go left first
Yeah,
to collect
nice.
more of the Geo. Yeah. And Tsira finishing Soulmaster at 2 HP, so only lost 1 HP in that second phase there. Very respectable, given how erratic Soulmaster can be. MrHug now on his way to collect Crystal Heart and chooses to get just a little bit more soul in before the Crystal Heart split, which is a smart decision because the Crystal Heart split is a very long and very dangerous split where you really don't get much time to heal and also not that much time to collect a lot of soul. Most of the soul that you can get in that split is way out of the way, so if you have to stop and collect anything, that's really going to cost you.
Also worth noting, not only do we have to get Crystal Heart, we also have to get Tsira. We also have to get Descending Dark and Dream Nail before we can save quit back to that Spire bench that MrHug just took.
Yeah.
So if we do take a death here, it's a very long trek back. Especially if you do die before Crystal Heart. If you don't have that Crystal Dash to move quickly back to peak, it's going to lose just so much time.
Yeah, exactly.
Tsira saving the grub. You love to see it.
You really do like to see it. There are like multiple worst places to die in Crystal Peak. It's like, of course, you don't want to die just before Crystal Heart, but then also if you die just before finishing the Crusher room, it will also mean that you have to go back around through the top. Whereas if you die any later, then you'll already have unlocked the lever there and you can take the bottom road.
Yeah.
So any death in Crystal Peak is something that you will want to avoid if you can, but it's really hard to pick a least favorite for me.
Deaths in general are not good. Deaths in this split are even worse.
Yeah.
And no one is immune from these deaths. Even Pisces had a death at D-Dark in a race.
Really surprising. That's the last race I commentated actually. And
oh wow. Yeah, we are all humans after all.
Definitely. It was his first and so far only death in this whole tournament, so And you can see just how brutal Crystal Peak is here from MrHug. Worth pointing out, he did get hit by the Crystal Crawler, but then that... I don't know what they're called, the spiky back boys.
The Glimbacks, I think?
Yeah,
the big ones?
no, I think it's the Glimbacks are the big ones, the small one.
Oh, the small ones? I don't know what those are called, actually.
Yeah, so MrHug actually didn't get hit by that one, which is one that runners are very prone to get hit by, and the way he avoided that is actually by using something that the community is very split about what they should call it. I prefer to call it a dash cancel simply because that's the first term for that technique that I heard, so I'll stick to it, but it's essentially dashing into a wall and then jumping right away, and that'll essentially redirect your dash, and it never really looks that way when you look at it casually, but most runners that don't get hit there actually use a dash cancel in order to squeeze past that spiky back boy. Just barely.
Meg telling us those enemies are called shard mites.
Shard Knights, thanks.
That is one that I have not heard before. Thank you, Meg.
Yeah, it's probably been like 2 years since I heard that. That's when I did the casual playthrough and actually read the Hunter's Journal, and after that I just forgot.
Alright. MrHug did safely get Crystal Heart.
Yeah, very nice. Didn't do Underplat sadly, but we can't ask every single runner to do Underplat.
Yeah. Maybe he'll make up for it with Underplat and Dreamplats.
Yeah.
Taking these crushers very slowly, which is understandable.
It's definitely a smart decision. You can lose so much time by not doing that and overestimating how quickly you can take them.
Yeah, given that he has the lead, being safe here is definitely what you want. If MrHug were to die in this section, that would be Tsira taking the lead.
Yeah, for sure. Given that this is probably the section in the game where you can lose some of the most time, together with Green Path, of course, which unfortunately Tsira did take a death there, but...
Yeah. MrHug choosing to go with C-dash strats. That's probably the safest strats, is the pure C-dash.
Yeah.
Dash strats are the fastest, and then there's also a mix of the two that you can use.
Yeah, and Tsira also doing the dash cancel here to get past that Shard Knight safely. Very nice.
Yeah, Tsira's looking really good in this Crystal Heart split.
For sure.
Full
doesn't
health.
look like she's taken any damage so far as well, so... Has been going very quickly, without really stopping or doing anything.
Yeah.
Safely,
I would not.
So...
I wouldn't be surprised if she makes up some time in these splits.
Looking good also with that dash slash air stall, but sadly...
Just
like
missed
she,
that second dash.
Yeah. Might have been that she just dashed off the platform a little bit too late and
Yeah.
didn't get her dash to refresh, so... But luckily that's one of the less costly deaths in this split, specifically because most of the deaths that you can take during this platforming section... Ooh,
Underplat,
Underplat.
woo!
That's what we like to see.
Went for damageless cycle, which is good.
Yeah.
She's still looking really good, very healthy going into the D-Dark split.
Yeah, definitely. Also that Underplat strike should just give her like an extra minus 20 seconds in my opinion. Since that's definitely, like, out of the two Underplats, like the Dream Underplats and the Crystal Heart Underplats, this one's definitely the more risky one, and the one that'll cost you, well, I guess they both cost you around the same amount of time, but...
Yeah, probably so. Falling in Dreamplats is like 7 to 10-ish seconds.
Yeah.
I'd say, yeah, that's probably about the same here. The problem is if you fail Underplat in Crystal Heart Room, you're going to be off cycle, so you are going to lose some time, not only to getting sent back, but also to being off cycle.
Yeah, but the real problem is that, unlike Dreamplats, where you have essentially infinite health, because you don't really take any damage from falling, in Crystal Heart Split, you actually, if you fail Underplat, it's usually because you dashed into the bottom of one of the platforms, which takes one mask away from you, and then you also fall down into the crystals, which takes another mask. So
Yeah.
it's usually two masks, which is really scary.
That wombo combo.
And Tsira getting through this dark room damageless first try. It looks like
Very clean.
really nice. Didn't see if she did the dash strats or the C dash strats.
Yeah, Tsira did make up a couple seconds at Crystal Heart, and I expect her to make up a little bit of time here.
Yeah, I think so too. Looks like they're about 2 minutes apart at this point. At the Crystal Heart exit, so. And Rixian now on his way to fight Watcher Knights.
She missed that dash slash, but she got the nail charged before hitting the crystal, so she does still get to do this skip.
He gets the early control, second try. Probably still saves time. So
yeah. MrHug is heading towards Watcher Knights, which for a lot. Ooh. Oh no! Unfortunate elevators. Elevators are the true final boss.
Yeah.
Watcher Knights are one of the harder bosses in most categories and for most casuals. In this category, it's not free by any means. You absolutely can still die, especially when you're trying to do it quickly. There's some intentional damage tanks. Yeah, same.
Especially if you're not feeling like if you're not having the best day, then Watcher Knights can be very brutal. I just died to them twice in my last race.
Yeah, I've also died to them in a race.
So.
Yeah. We do get D-Dark, which gives us tons of iframes and tons of damage.
Yeah.
So it is safer than most categories, but again, in a race setting with nerves and trying to go fast, taking intentional damage tanks, deaths can happen here.
Yeah, it looks like Tsira actually managed to gain back 10 seconds during the D-Dark part, so...
Nice.
Looking like she's slowly catching up, so...
Yeah. MrHug not getting the best RNG here.
Tsira having a little bit of trouble getting the wall cling on that ceiling there.
There we go.
And
MrHug is safely through Watcher Knights.
Underplat woo. Well. I didn't actually see if MrHug gave us underplat.
MrHug did not.
That's 2 underplats for Tsira.
2 underplat lead.
Yeah. Let's see how MrHug makes up for this. Maybe an underplat in Queen's Gardens on the Thorn.
There's one in Queen's Gardens and there's one in Distant Village, which is pretty risky.
Yeah, that's one I wouldn't go for because that's probably the one that's going to cost you the most if you miss that.
Yeah. Yeah, falling in Distant Village is very bad. You're either stuck crawling out in the dark or save quitting back to your last bench or hard save.
Yeah.
Both of which will lose you a ton of time.
MrHug just got his first streamer. Lurian. It's actually kind of ironic that we're getting Lurian first in this run. Compared to most casual runs, where I assume that people don't get Lurian first, since the Watcher Knights are considered one of the hardest bosses in a casual playthrough.
Yeah.
That you have to do, so...
Yeah, Lurian was definitely my final Watcher in my casual.
Yeah, I remember actually finding Hera in my casual playthrough before finding Green Nail, and I was just standing there hitting her and wondering how I'm supposed to do it. And then when I got Green Nail and caught some of the lore, I realized, hey, that's what I'm supposed to do, and I went straight away. So Hera was my first streamer, and then
Hera was also my first.
Second. So you're destroying the Watcher Knights here.
Yeah, this is a pretty good fight. MrHug is now on his way to probably the hardest set of skips for people that are new to this category, new to running. This is the Isma skips. So it starts off with a spike tunnel, and then there are 2 acid skips. In my opinion, the spike tunnel is harder than either of the acid skips, but the second acid skip has a pretty tight exit. Deaths and damage and just time loss in general are pretty common in this section. Hopefully we won't see any of that.
Yeah, let's hope. It would be what Tsira needs to come back. I'd assume. I don't think that this run back takes that long. I think it's about half a minute to a minute.
Yeah, it
But,
depends where you die.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
Okay,
Mr. Huck
take a heal. He's still got plenty of health. Looks like he's
taking a few
maybe
tries here.
pogoing a little too early. I'm not as familiar
Yeah,
with
he's
this
definitely poking too
setup.
early and a bit too high. You do need to lower yourself into the spikes quite a bit more than you'd think. Looks like he's still doing it the same way.
Okay.
Smart decision to save quit here, as dying will just mean that you'll have to also fight your shade as you get back there.
Yeah, this way he can still farm up full soul,
Yeah,
and have that many extra tries. So I respect that, especially in a race.
yeah, for sure. It's possible that you just get it on 1 HP on your final try, but then you also have to do all the
Yeah.
two next splits perfectly. You can't take the early control by hitting the herb, and on top of that, you'd also have to have a clean exit all the way until the ancient basin, which is also a part where you can easily get hit if you get bad RNG, and it's completely out of your control.
Yeah, the other thing is if you do die at one of the acid skips rather than the spike tunnel, you're going to have to make it through that spike tunnel safely to get back to your shade. Otherwise, you
Yeah.
do stand a risk of losing your shade and losing all that geo we just picked up from Watcher Knights, which is all the geo we need for the rest of the run.
Yeah,
In which
pretty
case,
much.
you'd probably have to find some relics and sell to Lem to make up for that.
Yeah,
MrHug taking his safety bench this time. I respect that.
that would be a huge detour, especially since we don't even collect any relics up to this point, and we also don't
Yeah.
have a convenient spot to go back to Lem, so...
Yeah, it would be a big time loss.
But in spite of not dying, this does seem like it
Yeah,
actually
this
puts them pretty
the
much...
safe quit puts Tsira in the lead. I'm gonna go
Yeah,
ahead
it
and
looks like
switch
it.
audio. Hopefully, Tsira can get through this safely and maintain that lead.
Yes, you're doing the same mistake here that MrHug did. But gets it second
Ooh,
try,
look
really
at these
nice.
synced
And
spike
oh,
tunnels.
that's
Beautiful.
looking really beautiful. Now we have a de facto sync of the two runners.
This is content.
Moving pretty much at the same time on both screens, with Tsira having a timer lead of about 13 seconds.
Alright, Tsira's gonna go farm. Okay. Those bellflies do hit for double. I was a little scared. Tsira's gonna farm some soul here.
That's not a point where you want to die from that bellfly.
No.
Tsira
Opting not to take the
stopping to
heals.
heal, yeah.
But you do get some free heals. If you can make this acid skip, you do get some free heal time before the horn hits you. Alright,
yeah,
I do want to see her heal now. There we go. Alright. MrHug leaving with Ismas. Tsira struggling a little. This is... Tsira is going for the setup here, so this is a neutral dash at just the right moment. Again, you don't want to see a death here.
She was at the right height, but for some reason she's down to 1 HP. Please.
She may be...
Oh, that gave me a heart attack.
She may...
No. Oh, that's so unfortunate. That's really sad.
That is very unfortunate.
Especially after just getting back into the lead.
Yeah, and that puts MrHug back in the lead.
Yeah, and by quite a bit as well. So in the meantime, MrHug getting the good RNG on the basin C-dash and not getting hit at all.
Tsira's main concern here, again, as we were saying earlier, is getting her shade back. Her shade has all that geo. That is the worst place to die in, because it's the hardest place to get your shade back. So she's
do all the spike tunnel and the first Isma skip perfectly.
Yeah,
now.
and then you're gonna have to get your second one too, or have enough soul and know that you can jump up and shade soul your soul through the wall before you do that last acid skip.
Yeah.
I don't believe Tsira is watching stream. I think Tsira is usually in a voice call with someone that is watching the stream. But with stream delay, there's really no way of telling if she knew she was in the lead. And she may have also felt like she would have to take that risk to stay in the lead.
Yeah, especially because getting back from there at that point, I mean, she was in a comfortable position HP-wise when she got into the last room.
Ooh, clean
I
spike
guess-
tunnel first try.
Yeah, first try, very nice. So, I don't think that she really wanted to take the risk of trying to go back into this room here. Because
Yeah.
that's also not the easiest, especially when you're on practice, it's not the easiest skip to do, getting back here.
MrHug taking 2 damage, opting for a heal. We do want 2 fireballs going into this fight, so I don't expect to see another heal. 4 HP should be comfy for this fight.
Yeah.
Opting not to go for the trans dash basin skip. Saves a couple seconds if you get it first or second try. Doesn't really save you any time if you get it third try, and loses time if it takes more than that. It is a pretty tight skip.
Why is it called trans dash?
It transfers your sideways dash momentum into upwards momentum when you hit the wall.
It's just a dash. Okay, I can respect calling it a trans dash. For sure. Actually, yeah, that's one of my favorite dash cancels or trans dashes as well. They're in basin. It's quite tight, but it feels very satisfying when you get it first try.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I like it too. It's like I don't always get a first try. It's like so sometimes I'll lose time doing it, but I do enjoy doing it. So I go for it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, MrHug did make it safely through that fight. Didn't see how that fight went, but he's on 2 HP, so can't have gone too poorly.
It was a pretty clean fight. Things considered. Didn't
Okay.
lose really any time. Tsira just on 1 HP.
That husk was
luckily,
coming for her too.
There are only 2 more opportunities for her to get hit. Let's hope. Let's hope I don't curse her here. Although it is pretty much up to her whether she takes the risk. You can get through the section pretty safely, which she just did, so that's nice. Yeah, looks like Tsira is 40 seconds behind, which, all things considered, and her death in green path, this is still a lot of time that she made back. Especially
Oh yeah, for
considering
sure.
that she died in the last room during the Isma split, so...
MrHug is on his way to Hornet 2, which is probably the hardest boss in this run. Not only does she kill a lot of people, but she can also just lose you a ton of time. She's got so many parries she can give you.
Yeah.
So even without a death, you can just lose a ton of time to Hornet. Her parries not only parry your nail, but also your Shade Soul and your D-Dark. And as I learned yesterday, it'll even parry your Spore Shroom.
Wow, Tsira
so
guiding...
she just... Ooh.
Did you see that? She got through
Yeah.
that
was really nice.
Murloc without taking damage. That's something I haven't even seen yet, apart from people using D-Dark for iframes.
Yeah, yeah, if you stop your C-Dash early enough and do the dash at the right time, you can get it. It's pretty tight, but it feels real good to get.
That's really nice. Though I guess that can't really be optimal, because I don't think that it's in comsop.
Yeah, I don't think it really saves much time, if any.
Comsop, by the way, meaning community sum of best, so that's just the best recorded execution of that entire segment.
Yeah. Let's see if MrHug opts for a safety bench here. I suspect there will be, especially now on 4 HP, and if he knows he's got the lead back, I expect a bench. Yeah, he's going for camp bench.
Yeah,
so camp bench will lose you the most time if you live, but save you the most time if you die. The other options are King Station, which is kind of your medium option, and Hidden Station, which is your option where it doesn't lose you much time unless you die, in which case you have to come all the way back. Slightly better than Toll Bench.
Yeah. Fairly clean Broken Vessel from Tsira here. Now going to pick up wings and then also going to head to Hornet 2.
So again, this is the place where we might see some lead changes going on, depending on how these fights go.
At this point it's really just down to execution from both runners. There are a few more places that can cause more or less major setups
MrHug taking a lot of damage here.
or the upsets. Yeah. Although again, as you said, running back from Hornet 2 if you took the bench really doesn't take a lot of time.
No.
It's mostly the time that you spend fighting her that loses you time. So.
Yeah, getting some nice dedarks in. Not so many doubles. Safety Dream Nail here.
Ooh.
I have a concern.
Yeah.
Okay, takes that heal.
There. But yeah, getting some really annoying parries in.
Yeah. Yeah, that D-Dark was parried.
It's also really annoying that Hornet is one of the bosses.
Oh, there we go.
Really
First try, nice.
1 HP as well.
Yeah.
Both Hornet 1 and 2 are bosses that, especially on this patch, if you hit them, and especially when it staggers them, it tends to just give you a ton of freeze frames, which
Yeah.
can just mess with your movement a little bit when you intend to go somewhere and you're playing it very close. Then a freeze frame, like an extended freeze frame like that, can just make you accidentally jump into Hornet or into one of her spikes that she throws.
MrHug not going for early control with a nail art. Something that saves a little bit of time, but if you aren't sure how to do it, you can invalidate your run with it. So I respect that. In this tournament setting, you can't submit your PB if you invalidate your run, but it will still be a valid tournament run. It's just a 5-second penalty.
Yeah, not too terrible. I guess you just don't want to accidentally let go of the nail art button if you're feeling a little bit nervous, which is totally understandable.
Yeah. Tsira not opting for camp bench.
Also, just a short correction of what I said earlier. I accidentally misread Rixian's timekeeping. It was like plus 39 seconds, and I said that it's a 39-second lead for MrHug. It was actually more like a 2-minute lead, so right now we're at like 2:25. So.
All right. So without taking that safety bench, Tsira is hopefully feeling pretty confident in her Hornet fight.
Yeah, I believe she did practice a lot. So.
She's doing really well. Ooh, that Shade Soul got parried. That would have doubled if it wasn't parried.
Oh, that one looked like it doubled.
Yeah, that second one did double, and that one doubled. Getting some really nice doubles in. This is looking like a really good Hornet fight.
Yeah, that's looking very clean from Tsira.
Not even any damage yet. Oh yeah, for sure.
And also playing it very close, so...
yeah, not taking any safety strats. That was a really nice Hornet fight. Well done, Tsira.
Not giving Hornet any time to breathe. And
no.
Reverse walking stomps.
I suspect Tsira made up a good chunk of time there.
Yeah, that was really too much. MrHug right now climbing his way up to Cyclone Slash.
Yeah, Tsira should be really proud of that fight. It was really good. Didn't even take damage.
Kind of curious if she got a gold there.
I suspect she probably did. Her movement there looked pretty good. Tsira does go for early nail art control. Does not invalidate her run. She's on her way. Yeah, Rixian letting us know Tsira gained 33 seconds on MrHug in that.
Actually really impressive.
Like I said, even without a death, it's a split that can just cost you a lot of time from bad Hornet RNG. Even if you play the fight well, you can lose a ton of time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really solid fight.
Now I'm curious to see if she practiced Abyss Climb just as much. Because that's my favorite section of the run.
I'd expect nothing less as a Path of Pain runner.
Of course not. I'm really sad about my last race performance. That's not what I had in mind when I went into the race.
Aww. Yeah.
It's really my only regret that the Swiss rounds are now finished, and I was happy that I don't have to worry about practicing anymore because I don't really have much time at the moment. But that was my only regret, that I didn't really get to show off a nice abyss climb in any of the races.
Yeah. It's hard to do in a race. It's not the
Definitely.
same as an IL for sure.
It's super reset heavy, just like
Yeah.
most AILs are.
Yeah. All right. Mr. Hug is heading towards Umu. I'm not sure if Mr. Hug does a one cycle. I believe Tsira does do D-Dark one cycle. So if Mr. Hug does not get a one cycle, another place that Tsira could potentially save, 20 seconds compared to a two cycle.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see as well. Especially given just what kind of lead she has to fight against here.
Yeah.
Still almost 2 minutes, so this does come down to execution, and Umu is just one of the parts where you get a good opportunity to shine with good practice here. So
Okay, let's see what Mr. Hug goes for.
it looks like he's going for the 2 cycle.
Yeah, I would guess at this point either two cycle or D-Dark one cycle.
Yeah, it could also be. I'm not too familiar with the DDAP 1 cycle setup.
Yeah. It starts out with a pretty similar setup to the two cycle. Yeah, this is looking like a two cycle setup to me.
Yeah, I think it's probably.
Oh, nope, he's going for the one cycle. I don't think he's... Oh, yeah, he's not going to get that.
Yeah.
That could end up being a three cycle.
Yeah, it would be unfortunate, but it might just give Tsira the opportunity she needs
Yeah.
back into this.
Yeah.
So.
I'm fairly certain Tsira goes for the one cycle.
Yeah, I would expect so.
Ooh, Umu's stuck on that platform, so not getting any doubles.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
Yeah, this is at least three cycles.
Oh, and Tsira apparently talked to Elderbuck. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Expected from Tsira.
Of course.
Tsira does love Elderbug.
Elderbuck is a cool dude. Ooh, just down to one.
Ooh, that's... Okay,
only
okay,
needs
Mr.
one
Hawk
nail
is
hit.
safe. One nail hit from getting that two cycle.
Didn't need to heal here.
No, it's probably an
Since-
anxiety heal.
Yeah, you can't take any more damage. And get
Yeah.
your health refilled after a monomon, so...
I'm not sure if Mr. Hug runs 80%, but if he does, that could have been like an instinct left over from that, because we don't have Ismas at 80%. So you're not safe there.
Yeah, that's true. That could be. And I guess you aren't really... Like, you don't really need the Soul. Going into Great Slash, there's not an opportunity for you to really heal or use any Soul or spells, so...
Yeah, Soul is not super useful there. Alright, let's see what Tsira goes for. Last I heard, she goes for D-Dark.
Yeah. So, looks like they're only about half an archives apart now.
Yeah.
Nothing that Tsira can't come back from, but it's definitely going to be tough.
Yeah, if she can pull off this one cycle, she'll save a good chunk of time here.
This does look a little bit like the normal one cycle setup, except
yeah,
the spacing is a bit higher up, it seems.
not as... Oh, she's going for the traditional one cycle.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, I feel like she might not make that, but...
Yeah, not quite. Should be close to...
Yeah, I think this will
Shouldn't
be
take much more.
a good 2 cycle for her. What did Mr. Huck get? A 2 or 3 cycle?
3 cycle.
Okay.
So if Tsira survives this,
Yeah,
she
then
should
it should
still
be a 2
save some
cycle.
time here. Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
very
Just the
nice.
one fireball that didn't double.
Ah, I think it did double. That's how it looked, but...
Almost got the wall cling.
Definitely something that will gain her another, what did you say, like 18 to 20 seconds.
Yeah, somewhere in that vicinity.
Definitely good for her. Curious to see, I expect that the difference will have decreased to something like 1.5 minutes now.
Yeah, making up that time little by little. There's still some dangerous parts left in this run. MrHug could die to siblings. I don't expect a death in the Great Slash split, but Wraiths has taken the lives of some runners.
Oh, tell me about it.
Abyss Climb could be a big time loss even without a death because the hazard respawns are so rude.
Yeah.
And then of course there is THK. Dark Deep Nest or the Long Petra Room on the way to Dark Deep Nest can be pretty sketchy.
This specific part in Green Path can take a lot of time if you're too stubborn to just do the lower C dash, which I can understand. I would be the same if I were MrHug. I would also do the lower C dash there, the upper C dash.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, I go for lower. I used to go for upper, but that wall is just so picky.
I think that might actually just lose about 10 to 15 seconds. The smaller mistakes that MrHug has made here in the Great Slash split. So if Tsira gets a clean Great Slash, then this might just put them at around the minute mark of difference. Since right now it's about 1:20. And Tsira going for left side exit.
I am... Okay. Wombo combo is a thing that can happen in this split. So hopefully... Okay, he should be safe now.
Yeah. Choosing to C-dash there from higher up, but doesn't really lose too much time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a clean Great Slash room up till the end, so...
And that is Great Slash for MrHug. That is the last of our nail arts. Next will be getting the last of our base spells, which is Wraiths, which we'll use exactly once, and that is to get Shriek. Yeah. Well, Tsira made up 32 seconds in the Monument split. Thank you, Rixian.
Also, just getting really clean movement on Great Slash so far, getting the... Well, just as I was saying that I cursed her. So... Yeah, I was about to say she got the airwalk there in the room.
Airwalk is one of my favorite parts of this run.
Yeah,
it's so small, but it's just so fun.
It just looks
I don't think it's even optimal, but it's fun.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Pisces did mention it in his all skills tutorial, so
yeah,
I have been doing it ever since, and it just feels nice to do.
Yeah, Tsira's movement is looking really good through this split. I expect her to save some time here.
Yeah. It looks like she's determined to make back the time that she lost in Green Path.
Yeah.
Back now in Green Path. So.
Yeah, it is not over yet for Tsira by any means.
And I don't think that she'll want to give in here. This is definitely a race that's not decided yet.
No.
By any means, so with her chances, I'd also be determined to try my hardest and take back the lead if I can. So really nice to see her fighting spirit coming out, and
it really is.
She has been making back so much time, little by little, as you said, over the course of the past 50, well, not quite 50 minutes, but I mean, Green Path was so early.
Yeah.
And she has really gotten back quite a lot of time.
She really has. That is rates for MrHug.
Expecting to see what the difference will be after Great Slash soon, so...
I suspect that was a pretty good time gain back for Tsira.
I'm predicting something like 55 seconds to 1:05, so...
MrHug is on his way to Dark Deepness now. Again, we still don't have Lantern because we never get it in this run. So there are 3 rooms of Dark Deepness we need to go through.
Who needs Lantern anyway?
Right? Lantern's overrated.
It's less scary without Lantern.
I
in my opinion.
agree. I agree.
You
When you
don't see
don't
all
see all the
this.
hazards,
Yeah.
it's so much nicer.
Honestly, I only learned this room, like doing this room properly for all skills, and I hadn't really memorized it from like my casual playthroughs before, so I actually didn't know what it looked like until after I had memorized it in the dark, and then when I saw it in the light while routing the all skills Path of Pain route, I was actually surprised by how close you get to all the hazards. I was
Right?
like,
They're
I've been
right
playing this so
there.
casually. Like I didn't even know that these hazards were there all the time.
Yeah,
Just
what you don't see can't hurt you.
yeah. I was just mildly surprised that I never got hurt there.
Alright, Mr. Hug
Yeah, when
making it safely through this long Petra room.
yeah, really nice.
Tsira picking up race.
And this will be oh, MrHug doesn't even go for that heal that he could take there. It's pretty free since you can get all the soul back from these spiny husks.
I was just gonna say 4 HP is pretty comfy. 3 HP should still be okay.
Yeah, it's
Tsira did make back 27 seconds between Great Slash and Rates, so less
yeah.
than a minute apart between the two of them.
1 HP definitely a bit less
1
comfy
HP
here.
is not comfy.
Yeah, definitely somewhere you want to heal. Oh,
Yeah, I
he chooses
would
to.
reset the room if I was Mr. Hug.
But he'd have to go up in the dark, which is also not very comfy to do. Especially given
Okay,
that the
there we go.
Weaverlings have somewhat erratic spawn patterns. Like sometimes they will spawn as you get back there. So yeah.
No soul for Mr. Hug. Ooh, that is not... Yeah, there we go.
Oh, it looks like I just saw Rixian post the time for the Howling Wraith, and it looks like that is indeed somewhere around 55 seconds, 53 to be precise, which is really impressive.
Yeah, Tsira is clawing her way back pretty quickly, actually. If she has a clean Dark Deep Nest, she'll save some more time, because Mr. Hug did have to take some heals, which is losing time. He also has absolutely no soul, which is going to lose time in Beast Den.
Yeah. And if this pace continues from both runners, then what we might actually see is going to be a very close THK, which would be
this may
extremely
absolutely
costly.
come down to THK.
Yeah, so just not favoring any runner here, but just in the spirit of content, let's hope for a close race and for Tsira to make back some more time so that we can...
Yeah, that's what we always love to see, is a close race.
Yeah.
Mr. Hug opting for this bench to get healed, and then probably going for one of these Devouts to Dream Nail them from behind. Or not. Just gonna fight this Devout with his nail. And some damage tanks. Okay, Devouts do hit for 2.
But he did take the bench, so he's probably feeling pretty comfy, especially knowing his lead. Yeah, he can...
Okay, there we go.
Here.
I was terrified.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, knowing his lead, he probably knows he doesn't have to play this like too perfectly, but at the same time, if he had taken a death there, it probably would have turned it around almost, because even with the bench, it's probably something like 15 to 20 seconds run back.
Yeah, I do think the bench was a smart move for him, given the situation, because if he did take a death there, without that bench, he'd go all the way back to Archives.
Seeing as he got down to 1 HP in Dark Deep Nest, he probably thought of like not taking his chances again.
Yeah, understandable.
Tsira took a hit in Dark Deep Nest there and opted to reset the room. Very smart choice, because the Weaverlings do spawn and can be in, well, not unpredictable places, but if you aren't too familiar with their spawn positions, it's definitely uncomfortable to have to deal with them on top of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Tsira now making her way up to Hera as Mr. Hug is leaving her behind. Or
yeah, Mr. Hug on the way to the Abyss. Leaving Hornet behind, yeah. Mr. Hug is on the way to the Abyss now, where we will pick up our Shriek, our Shade Cloak. Shade Cloak first, then Shriek, and then do our famed Abyss climb before killing the Hollow Knight.
Tsira not going to have any trouble with this devout here. We'll probably save her some more time.
Yeah, I think she'll save some time here. Didn't have to farm soul or tank damage or anything like that. So even though she did get hit and have to reset that last room in Dark Deep Nest, I think she may still save some time here.
Hmm.
We're getting a swag door from Mr. Hug. We do love to see it. Beautiful. Yeah, Tsira did
Wow.
save 12 seconds in the hair split, only 41 seconds apart now.
Really impressive. So
Tsira
this
is definitely back in the game at this point.
could really come down to THK at this point. I'd say that 40 seconds isn't something that you'd make back in THK alone. That's a bit too much at their level of skill, I'd say. But it's still, like,
Yeah.
I'd say 10 to 20 seconds is reasonable to, like, lose
Yeah.
or win
If
in
she
terms of thing.
she keeps saving this 10 to 20 seconds in every split, like, this is still going to be an extremely close race.
Yeah.
Mr. Hug taking some safe strats on the sibling climb. Siblings do hit for double damage, so you can only afford 2 hits.
Yeah, but that's
They,
without taking any damage.
yeah, it was very clean. Like I said, safe strats, but still clean. The siblings do spawn in. Their spawns are set, but their drift is random. So depending on how they spawn in, it can dictate how your sibling climb goes, what route you'll have to take.
Yeah, this entire part of the split that MrHug1 in right now isn't really execution dependent. It's mostly very straightforward. Up until after Abyss Reek, where it's just the Abyss climb left, and then THK. So this is going to be very close for Tsira, as it does require some bigger mistakes from MrHug for her to catch up here, but it's still possible. And also a nice swag door from Tsira.
Yeah, 2 swag doors. I didn't hear Mr. Hug go for the Dream Nail early control. Doesn't save a ton of time. And there's a slight risk to it, because if you do accidentally run into those void tendrils, you will be sucked in and you will die. You won't have a proper respawn point.
Wait, so where
not a
do you
huge deal.
respawn then?
You just respawn inside of the void tendrils, and they just keep hitting you until you're dead.
No, that's...
It is unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. Yeah, I never went for the Dream Nail early control there, since I believe it was only discovered like sometime into the tournament, or maybe shortly before. So I never learned it. But no, hearing that from you, it's a smart decision that I didn't try to just wing it.
As long as you're paying attention to your Shade Cloak, and your Shade Cloak is like not on cooldown when you dash, you're safe. But there is that small chance that you could get pulled in if you dash too early. Yeah, Tsira did get hit on the sibling climb, but she is safe now. Mr. Hug now has Shriek, and is going on to our Abyss climb.
Going to start the most fun part of the run. I look forward to it. Oh, that was a really clean wall cling crystal dash first try, and not stopping.
Without sound, it's hard to tell if Tsira went for Dream Nail early control. Looked like she did, but I can't say for sure.
MrHug taking a somewhat unusual route to this climb here.
It's like going for really safe strats.
Yeah, but then also choosing to poke with the spikes there instead of going around. Yeah, definitely not taking his chances. He might know that he's got a somewhat close lead on Tsira, and probably doesn't want to lose the time on having to take
on the spike dunk respawns.
long respawns here.
You're saying earlier the respawns are very rude in this climb, mostly because we don't put our feet down anywhere.
Yeah. It's almost sad to see that he was playing it safe here, although from his perspective it's definitely a smart choice to play it safe.
Yeah, it really is.
Going swaggy. Like, if he wants to win this race, this is the thing that he should do, without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't fault him for that climb.
Because even if Tsira gets like a world record climb, compared to this climb of his, that's probably still not enough. If
Yeah.
he doesn't have any THK mess-ups. Which means this is really like playing in favor of his win. So
Which is what you want to do in a race setting, of
yeah,
course.
usually
So
it's not
um,
everyone really cares more about content than winning.
yeah, and he is not on PB pace now, so he's not worried about trying to PB. He is just trying to win the race at this point.
Yeah, very respectable. And Tsira,
Tsira going for more traditional climb, misses that a little bit. Ooh, Mender bug for MrHug. Let's
oh,
go.
wow.
Blessed
Yeah,
run.
definitely blessed.
Ooh,
Tsira.
Tsira did make back
Yeah.
15 seconds up to Abyss Shriek, was 26 seconds behind.
It's
I think
probably
she
going
is
to take
losing.
a death to THK for her to win now.
Yeah, she is losing time in this split for sure. I do like to see going for the backup strats here.
This is definitely MrHug1's race to lose, so as I said, unless something really unexpected happens now. And it seems like, given his Abyss climb, MrHug1 probably knows he's in the lead, so
Yeah,
I
I would
don't
imagine
expect
so.
that he'll be playing risky during THK. But this will nonetheless be a close race in terms of time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and
He does have plenty of soul to start off with a couple of good shrieks.
only 26 seconds of
Ooh,
difference
uses
during
both
Abyss
of those
Shriek.
shrieks too early. Jumping the gun there.
Probably a little bit nervous.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe he did saw Rixian's comment that he was only at a 26-second lead on Abyss Shriek.
I'm terrified for MrHug at this point.
Yeah. Oh no!
Oh no.
That's not
Tsira,
enough to put Tsira in the lead, or
no,
is it?
but definitely putting her
It's
back in the game.
very close. I think this is now anyone's game at this point.
It suddenly became an incredibly close race.
Yeah, really sad for MrHug1, but really nice for the audience at this point. Yeah, I guess this will be very close now.
Ooh, MrHug's still taking a lot of damage. Some damage tanks are expected with Shriek, but
yeah,
there's definitely some nerves or something playing in here.
Yeah, I wonder, did you see what at what time MrHug1 started the second fight? I didn't see. I think it was like 105.05 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 105, 104.55 for the scream for the second fight. We'll see. Tsira may be in the lead. This is going to be a close call.
Yeah, this is definitely anyone's game.
Yeah, this is going to be so close.
Because we'll be seeing MrHug1 finish before Tsira, but we won't know who's going to win this, because Tsira now has about a minute to defeat THK at this point.
Yeah, Tsira needs to have a really good THK fight, for sure.
Yeah, if she plays perfectly, then this will be her win, but she does have that pressure on her.
A good start.
If she knows that too, then GG MrHug1.
Yeah, GG's for MrHug. Missing that shriek.
And yeah,
a lot of
saying
parries.
104.54 second time for MrHug1. So yeah, this will be really close. Tsira has about half a minute left. Yeah,
she needs to get some real good damage in here.
Does heal very respectable.
Yeah, if she takes the death here, it's over.
Yeah, it's definitely over, but it's also... She has 10 seconds left to finish this. She can't afford...
She's gonna have to get...
Ooh, 5 seconds.
I think this is MrHug's, but it's gonna be real close.
Oh my god, this will be such a close finish.
This is gonna be incredibly close.
This will be...
I think MrHug has it.
Yeah, honestly, I can't say. This is like... I think this is within 2 seconds. And I didn't see the exact time, so...
Yeah, this is MrHug, but
I think
barely.
This is MrHug1's, but very close. Holy. Yeah, that's MrHug1's by less than 2 seconds. Oh my god. GG, Tsira.
Incredible. Alright. Let me mark the racers as done.
Yeah.
MrHug first. Tsira
Whoa.
second by a hair. That was an
Wha-
incredible race.
What a last race from both of these runners for the 5th round of Swiss.
We'll get runners
Really
back
incredible.
in here. All right, they are both in here. We'll get
Okay.
them. If they don't move up soon, we'll just drag them in.
Yeah, I'll just...
That was incredible.
Yeah, that was really... Wow, I didn't expect this close a race when I
No.
said in the beginning that they have like similar race times. Like, this is really incredible.
If
Wow.
anyone in chat has questions for the runners, feel free to ask them. We'll get them in here shortly.
What do you think? I think it really came down to that heel that Tsira took.
I think the heel was it. There was also a missed shriek, so that could have also been the difference. Man,
Yeah,
GG's to both of you.
yeah GG's.
Congrats,
Mr.
Mr.
Hug.
Hug, on a very close win.
Yeah,
That was incredible.
Yeah, GG.
Indeed.
totally. We didn't expect this close a race, although we anticipated that. Given your previous race performances, you were always very close to each other. But this is
Yes.
beyond what we
A
expected.
second and a half. I was on the edge of my
This
seat.
is. I didn't expect to win after that death in green path. I'm honestly happy Mr. Hug got the win.
Yeah, but
It
you,
was so close.
yeah,
Especially late game.
Oh
Your
boy.
late game was very strong, Tsira.
definitely.
Thank you.
Props
And
to
you're-
continuing to claw away this much time
Yeah.
after the green path.
The amount of times I said, "Well, I'm done." Honestly.
I'm glad you did not call it, because that was incredible. I think you were maybe one missed streak away from getting the win there.
Yep,
Yeah, or,
Yep,
or
one
not
missed
healing.
streak.
Or not healing.
Yeah.
during
Oh,
the
that's
self
right.
step.
I took a heal.
Yeah, you took actually 2 heals during the self step, and I think if
Oh,
you had only
yeah.
taken 1, you would have had enough souls for another streak.
That's so frustrating.
It's really frustrating, I know, right?
I'm
It's made it a very nail-biting finish.
It really was. Oh man.
oh boy. The
Oh,
amount of
was
close
so
races
close.
we've had this tournament is ridiculous.
yeah, really amazing. We even had one tie, which is insane given that we were
Absolutely.
timing
Oh,
down
man.
to the
yeah.
100th. Yeah.
That- I was screaming at my screen for that race.
Huge props to both of you for pulling through this well. Really good performances from both runners.
Yeah, solid.
That's one
solid.
messed up Isma skip that if I hadn't messed up.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was so sad to see because you were just getting back into the lead at that point, and then you died there. So it was really
Yeah.
really sad to see because Mr. Hug also had some trouble with
The
the
reset for the spike tunnel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
How
that
did you
reset
feel
was
about
smart.
that?
That saved you time compared to dying for sure.
definitely.
Yeah, I think so too.
I had already known that you reset actually when I died, but I was like, I'm already behind. Either I get this or I don't, and I'm not PBing anyway, so.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Did either of you watch the stream?
I did not watch the stream, but I was in voice with someone who was.
I was watching myself, or well, mostly listening, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really still. So you both seem to know when you were in the lead.
Yeah, I took some extra benches at the end, just in case.
I
good
knew
call.
that I was going to lose for most of the race, unless something like a THK death happened. It didn't matter anyway, but
Oh, it did happen in the end. And
It happened, and it. Oh yeah, it's so close to mattering.
I'm
Yep.
honestly happy you got the win, though. I would not have been happy if I, like, after that green path.
Thanks,
Syrup.
I appreciate that, though. It wasn't good. You're having that.
Honestly,
Syrup.
for the yeah,
Props to you for your Hornet 2 fight. That was really
yeah, that
clean.
was
That was a
incredible.
really good fight.
thank you. I was not expecting that either. It was the first time I've had a Hornet 2 fight where I didn't take any damage.
Yeah, no damage, and it was a really fast fight too. It was
And
very
you were
well
smart
played.
enough not to take the
Thank
bench there,
you.
which is also what brought you so close in the end. So
Right. I knew
You
that I couldn't afford it because I was so far behind. Either I got it
Right.
or I didn't.
Makes
I think
sense.
you were at like 26 seconds behind MrHug at the Abyss
That
Shriek. so-
shriek, yeah.
Yeah, and then I took a fall in Abyss. If I hadn't done that,
If you hadn't done basically anything that costs like more than 1.5 seconds, then
I was debating going for the save strat because I knew that MrHug had, and I decided not to.
Hmm.
I'm kicking myself for that right now.
There's a
Well-
question for Tsira in chat from Stingray, and that is, are you going to go talk to Elderbug? I know you
Oh,
already did
yes.
once.
Yes, I have not run in 3 weeks at all, so pardon me for forgetting. I did talk to Elderbug during the run. If I hadn't done that, if I hadn't talked to Elderbug during the run,
That would have been your 2.5 seconds. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So,
Oh,
Mr.
boy.
Huck, how did you feel when you got Mendabug? Because that was really
I was very happy I missed the nail art so that Menderbug got to live.
wait, you got Menderbug too?
Oh, you did too?
Wait, you
Yeah,
got-
I did.
Oh, I didn't see Tsira's.
On the way to
Double
Lumo.
Menderbug.
Let's
Double
go.
Mendabug. What a
Cool.
blessed race, and then finishing 1.5 minutes seconds apart.
Oh,
The
boy.
content.
Yeah.
Wow. That's one for history.
If I hadn't talked to Elderbug, Elderbug has officially cost me a race.
Well, I guess you're you being a nice person decided this race for you.
I'm sorry, Elderbug.
Elderbug
but
was
no.
worth it.
Yeah, Elderbug was worth it.
Mm,
Do either of you know if any of you golded any splits?
I got a lot of golds actually.
Did you gold Hornet too?
I didn't.
What?
I thought I
Really?
would,
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, I
Okay.
also got like I think 3 spits, Balder spits. That would have
Yeah,
made the
yeah,
difference.
you did.
So, D Dark I golded.
Oh yeah, that was a really
Lorien
clean split
somehow.
too.
I was very disappointed in myself for that fight. Shade Cloak and Abyss Shriek somehow.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, Abyss Shriek is a really short split, so it always feels good to gold that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know anything I did differently in my movement there, so
Yeah, your late game was really clean.
thank you.
Mr.
Now,
Huck,
if I
you
can
had-
just pair that with not dying.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Huck, you had a really nice like exit from Abyss Shriek. That was impressive. You just so confidently got that walk in
Yeah.
first try without even like positioning yourself, and then immediately C-dashed off. That was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was really clean.
Just take credit for it and not tell you that it's all luck. But yeah.
There's gotta be at least some amount of skill in there. Otherwise, it wouldn't have gone so smoothly.
Yeah, those 2 deaths. My movement was sub-hour, but those 2 deaths cost me the 6 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. You'll get that sub hour
Yeah.
soon.
For sure.
I better.
Yeah, both of you are really close to it for sure.
I'm curious what your summer best is, Mr. Hugs.
56-44. What about you?
Nice. 5601 now.
Ah, cool. Cool. Yeah, getting close
yeah.
to that sub 1 hour indeed.
But yeah, huge GG.
Yeah,
Thank
GG
you.
to both of you.
Thank you.
And thanks for the content. That was amazing to watch and come.
It really was. It was a really fun race to come.
Thank you for coming. It
Yeah.
was,
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Happy to do. Shoutouts to Sylvie for being awesome and letting me take his spot here, because
Yeah.
I really wanted
And-
to come this one, and it was the last one that I could.
Shoutouts
this
to
week.
Rixon also.
Always.
I was relying on your times in chat.
Same
Yeah.
here. Same here.
Yeah. I did the same in my race. I was looking at Rixian's times.
Yeah.
It's so useful, not only as runners, but also as comms. So huge shout outs to
Yeah,
Rixian.
definitely.
Oh yeah.
Huge shoutouts, because it does help us stay focused on the game without having to also keep
Yeah.
track of times.
I don't have to do math in my head while I'm commentating. It's always nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, if that is it, anything else anyone has to add? If not, we'll go ahead and end the episode. There is another race ongoing right now.
Wait, let me just try if the runners command works now. It didn't work at the beginning. Oh no, it's working.
There it goes.
Great.
Nice. Yeah, go ahead and follow both of these runners. Looks like the link
And
for
go ahead and
Tsira
follow
is
the
broken.
comms as well.
Yeah, I suppose
but
Tsira Kura is probably with an underscore between
Yeah.
Tsira and Kura, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Yep.
why the link is broken.
Go follow MrHug and Tsira and Collie, so
And April.
yeah.
So there is a race going on right now on Speed Gaming 6 between Fairest and Blue, and then at 8 Eastern is Slow and Dynamite, and that is wrapping up Swiss rounds. So after that, we'll go on to top 16. So stay tuned as we finish
Very
up this
excited for
tournament.
that.
Yeah, top 16 should be pretty hype.
And thanks to everyone for sticking through with us for these 10 weeks so far.
Yeah,
And,
it's been long, and I'm very happy everyone's stuck with us. Thank you to Speed Gaming for hosting us, and thank you,
Yeah,
April,
thank you
for
for
co-coms.
Pisces and Insomnia for organizing
Absolutely.
this whole thing.
They're putting in a lot
And
of work.
being really awesome. Yeah, and thank you to Collie for co-coms.
Yeah,
It was really fun.
It was fun. It was fun. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up and send you on your way. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you soon.